Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our webinar today where we are going to discuss the PTC's change to a 100% subscription model, which starts January 1st. And we want our customers, as well as anybody who is a PTC customer for Pro Engineer or Crio, just to be in the know and up to date with what exactly this means to their business and what it means to their current license. So my name is Rob Romanowski. I'm the Director of Sales Operations for 3HTI, and I'm joined today with Jonathan Conklin, who is an applications engineer with PTC. And what I want to do first before we get started is I want to ask our audience a couple of questions. I want to see exactly what your current, or understand a little bit more, this will help with what we demo, what your current situation is as far as PTC is concerned with your current license. Are you currently using Perpetual software? Are you currently on maintenance, or do you have some on maintenance and some off of maintenance? All this information does help. I'll leave it open for about 3 more seconds. Excellent. And last one is, what platform are you operating from? Are you on Foundation XE, which would be Wildfire 4 and 5, Crio Parametric, which would mean that you're on Crio 1 or 2. If you're on Crio Essentials, you would be on Crio 3 or 4, or you could be using a Crio engineering package, or if you're using an older engineering package, you can also select Foundation. Okay, so most everybody is on Crio Essentials, which is good. Okay. So if everybody can see my screen on the left, I'm gonna just go through a couple of slides. I mean, ideally, what we want to do is we want to help your business. We want to help our customers improve the way that they do things. We want to help people solve problems. Ultimately, that leads to improving profitability, running your business more effectively, and hopefully overall it helps you to live a better life. Hopefully it helps you to all the little things in life add up, especially like this time of year, as busy as the holiday season is. If you're able to have less work focus and you can focus at this time more on your family, Christmas time, that's why you work hard during the year, is so that during this time of the year you can spend a little more time with your family and friends. So we're all about helping people be more efficient and enjoy more things in life. So anyway, the effect that this has, there's basically 2 buckets. If you're currently on maintenance, or if your maintenance has lapsed. So what I want to do is kind of address these. If your maintenance is up to date, and most people are on Crio Essentials, that is good, because if you're not on Crio Essentials, if you're on Foundation XE or Crio Parametric, you're going to be frozen in that configuration, because when PTC goes to the 100% subscription model, you will be able to use your license as is. So whether you're on Foundation or whether you're on Crio Essentials, nothing is going to change in that respect. However, moving forward, what does affect you is that you will not be able to upgrade from Foundation to Essentials, or from Parametric to Crio Essentials. You won't be able to do it after January 1st. So you won't be able to get capabilities like flexible modeling and other capabilities. Now, you will be able to upgrade. I'm sorry, you will be able to get updates, and that terminology there is incorrect. I put customers can upgrade to Crio 4, Crio 5. Actually, that means the word there should be update. So you can update to Crio 4 or 5 from Foundation or Parametric if you are currently on support, but you're not going to be able to have functionality like flexible modeling. So if your maintenance is up to date, your options are you can just stay on your current platform running Crio or Pro Engineer. That's not going to change, as I just mentioned. And you can upgrade to Crio 4, but you won't have capabilities like flexible modeling. So right now, if you need to upgrade, this is a good time to do it, because PTC is offering a 35% discount on all Crio Essentials and Crio Engineering packages. So if you are on Crio Essentials, but you want to add more functionality, so there's other Crio Essentials packages, and I will review those in a little bit. But basically, if you need to add capabilities like top-down design or concurrent engineering that come with Crio Essentials Team, you can do that by upgrading to the Crio Essentials Team package from Crio Essentials. If you want what's in some of the Crio engineering packages, if you need a lot more functionality with machining capabilities, you can move up to any of those packages at a 35% discount. Another option is you can convert, excuse me, to a subscription. So for customers who are up to date on support, you can convert to a subscription, and what this will do is you will add flexible modeling, design exploration extension, and human factors analysis when converting. And one of the things that Jonathan's going to show you today is this design exploration extension. So we're calling this a customer loyalty program because customers have continued to pay support, so they should be rewarded for that loyalty. And it's adding about $12,000 worth of functionality, and that's on an annual basis, not a one-time perpetual license basis, but a overall $12,000 of functionality. And you get a discounted rate on your annual subscription. So a normal annual subscription for a floating license of Crio is $2,700 annually. Customers get a discounted rate, which is $2,175 annually, and you get $12,000 worth of functionality additional, all for $2,175. You will also get a maintenance credit. So if you were 6 months, if you paid maintenance or support 6 months ago, that support is not going to be used up if you convert to the loyalty program. So you will be reimbursed that maintenance credit. So you're not going to lose any money for what you paid on support. And of course, it's the end of December, so time is running out. This offer is good till December 28th. However, we should probably get everything in by the 27th to make sure it gets under the wire. So some of the other capabilities that you receive with this customer loyalty program, when I mentioned $12,000 worth of functionality, you get to pick 3 of these 4 extensions. You can add the interactive surface design, which can help you create high complex surfaces with strange geometries, with curves. There's a capability within Crio 2, Crio 3, and Crio 4 called Freestyle, which allows you to basically, in almost a direct modeling setting, just kind of stretch and pull and create these complex shapes and geometries that have a lot of rounds to them very quickly and very easily. And then you're in a parametric setting, so then you can add parametric intelligence. So it allows you to create a lot of ideas without using another tool like Rhino. It's definitely much more sophisticated. Piping and cabling extension, we have Crio Simulate, which was formerly known as Mechanica, which is great for running simulations on your CAD designs. And then lastly, an additive manufacturing extension, which works well with all 3D printers. So you can pick 3 of those 4 extensions and add those when you convert your license to a subscription. And you also, as I mentioned before, you receive the design exploration extension and the human factors analysis extension. Also included is a full year of the e-learning library, and this is for every single module that's within Crio you have access to. You can also get extended borrowing if you have your licenses in the office, but you have to travel. You can borrow that license and travel on the road with it for up to 180 days, which it used to be 30. So there's some good updates to your license for converting. Now, if your maintenance has lapsed, if you're not current on maintenance, it may not be or make any sense to pay the money to get current on your perpetual license, or maybe it is, depending on how long you've been off. So that's an option. You can pay the back maintenance and then you can upgrade. But you will be able to run Crio or Pro Engineer as you are currently. Let me make that clear. Things will be able to continue. You just won't be able to upgrade your perpetual license in the future. You can get updates, but you won't be able to upgrade. So you also have the option of converting to a subscription. So the annual price for converting to a subscription is normally, as I mentioned, $2,700 annually. That discounted rate is $2,100 annually for converting to a subscription. Now, we've been promoting this since earlier this year. It was at a rate of $1,600 a year annually. And what's funny is as the price went up, more people got interested. Less people were interested when it was lower, which is kind of interesting. But anyway, it's a discount subscription rate, and you will add flexible modeling and design exploration extension, as well as the human factors analysis extension. Now, you don't get the pick 3 or 4 because maintenance has lapsed, but still, adding this design exploration extension is pretty tremendous. It's a great feature to have within Crio, and I'm going to have Jonathan demonstrate this in a little bit. So as I mentioned, 35% off of upgrades. So if you need to upgrade your license or want to upgrade your license, you can do so at 35% off. You can convert your license to a subscription whether you're on support or not, but it depends how much functionality that you can add based on whether you're current on maintenance or not. And also, if you like perpetual licenses, you can buy one and get the second perpetual license half off. So it allows you to stock up on new perpetual licenses today if that meets your business model. If it doesn't, and subscription is good because it's a lower price and you pay annually, you can still buy one subscription license and get half off. So it doesn't matter. Whatever license you buy one, you get the second one half off. Also, all new subscriptions will include flexible modeling, the design exploration extension, human factors analysis, and the advanced performance advisor and the e-learning license. All that is included in any subscription, whether it's you convert to a subscription or purchase a new subscription. All those capabilities are included. So lastly, I guess just to reiterate, perpetual licenses will no longer be available starting January 1st, and upgrades for perpetual licenses will not be available either. If you have an extension, and this is a question we got in the last webinar that we did, if you have if you want to purchase an extension after January 1st, you can do so, but it won't be a perpetual extension. It will be an annual subscription extension. So if you, for example, if you wanted Crio Simulate, you would purchase that annually. And that's one of the good things that's good about the subscription model is that you can, if you have certain projects, you can purchase different extensions on an annual basis and use those for those projects. Now, if you don't renew them, you're not going to be able to use those extensions, but that's one of the flexibilities of the subscription model is that instead of actually paying a higher price and purchasing the extension, you can purchase it at an annual subscription fee, which can be very helpful. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass everything over to Jonathan Conklin because I want Jonathan to demo the design exploration extension so you guys can see how the capabilities of this feature within all the new subscriptions. So Jonathan, I'm going to pass control to you. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to type those into the question box and I will answer these, or we'll try to answer these during the demo, but we'll definitely answer them at the end. And if there's something else that you want to see, a capability within Crio, or if you have any anything, just feel free to type it in. So Jonathan, take it away.
Thanks, Rob. Like Rob said, my name is Jonathan Conklin. I'm here at PTC, part of the Virtual Center of Excellence. And today what I want to do, just really briefly for the next 10-15 minutes, is go over the design exploration extension and how it can be utilized to help your design engineers really design in a way that's more conducive and innovative without risking your data. So what I have for you today is just a couple slides that go over the capabilities, just to introduce the topic, and then we'll jump into the software and I can show you how you can use it on a day-to-day basis. So Rob, just confirm that you can see my screen, my PowerPoint?
I can.
Okay, great. So let's jump right into it. So like I said, this is all about design and innovation. And there's a couple challenges that surround the engineer whenever they're trying out new product ideas. So some questions tend to pop in your mind whenever you're trying new ideas with simple models and complex models. Like, how do I try out these new ideas on your next version? Or how do you perform significant changes to a complex design without destroying the design place and still getting a result that makes sense? And then at the end of the day, how do you evaluate all the different concepts of your product design and then finally work it into the design that you actually want to move forward with? And you may be thinking to yourself, well, there's a couple different ways that my company does this, where we save off copies and we create ad hoc folders and we have multiple iterations. And that's a route that a lot of people tend to go through, but that also introduces a lot of problems for engineers or anyone who's trying to manage that data or get access to that data. It becomes not only an engineering problem where you're trying to make the most up-to-date design, but also a data management problem where you're having to go through multiple ad hoc folders that may or may not have the most current version in it. And you're always wondering, well, is this the most up-to-date version? And that becomes a separate headache that you have to work through. Additionally, if you're working with really complex designs, chances are they're relatively large, and loading those in and out of different CAD softwares, Crio, is not without it. That takes time. I mean, the bottom line is that's going to take time for you to load that in and clear the session data. So let's say you're opening up the wrong 1, 2, 3, 10 times. That's a significant portion of your day that you're losing not designing. And we want to get away from that. Moving forward, let's say you are still going that route. Let's talk about the design review process, right? So you have your design requirements and you go into your design review and say, okay, boss, team, here's what we came up with, and you're presenting them with static images. And while that may be able to work right now, it doesn't really tell the entire story. It doesn't really allow your team to innovate and have an interactive design meeting. What you're left with is just these screenshots, these 2D handouts that you're giving people, and people are circling things. You're not really getting a clear idea of what's going on, and it's just not the most efficient way to do things. So on top of that, you also have to manually identify all those circles that you have on your handouts and incorporate those into the real design. And then you got to hunt down for the real design anyway. So, this all kind of goes full circle. It's really a mess. So we understood that here at Crio, and we decided that we wanted to go with an extension that's really going to enable the engineers to design in an effective manner without the hangups that I was talking about before. And of course, that's our design exploration extension. And this works in a really cool way that I'm going to go into now. So the way this works is off checkpoints and branches off of one Crio session, regardless if it's an assembly or just one model. So what it's going to do is take a snapshot of the entire session content that's currently loaded within Crio. At that point, you're going to take your model or your assembly or whatever and start making changes. Add an extrude here, remove a hole here, add an additional assembly here. Current, just your usual Crio functionalities, those types of things. You're just going to start working. Then as you're working and you decide that you hit a point where you're like, okay, this is a checkpoint for me, you can create a checkpoint within the system, which then enables you to basically save that instance of the model. And the cool thing is, as you're making more changes, you're making more checkpoints, you can toggle between any of these checkpoints at any time without worrying about risking your data. And the cool thing about this is it's working off one session. So that doesn't mean you're saving multiple copies or worrying if you have the most up-to-date model. No, you're working off one model, one assembly, and you're making these changes. And anytime you want to revert back to something, you're not loading in new session data, waiting for that to load in. You're just simply toggling between a checkpoint. It's really fast, really simple, and really the best way to do things. And the cool thing about this is it also enables you to design in multiple different directions based off a checkpoint by branching off. So this is really where it allows your design engineers or anyone to go in and have those what if scenarios and say, okay, well, what if we try this design? I mean, the ways in the past you might be like, oh, well, I'm a little bit hesitant. I don't want to screw up my model. Well, with this, that's the thing of the past. It doesn't matter. If you don't like what you see, just go back to a previous checkpoint. And this really enables you to evaluate all of your options before the decision-making process begins. So you really can evaluate all those different nooks and crannies that you want to and come back with not just one option, but the best option because you explored all those different avenues, right? And then taking it a step further, let's say now in the design review process, No longer are you bringing in those boring static 2D images where everyone has to circle things. Now you have a 3D representation right within Crio that you can turn, manipulate, and then just check out all those different checkpoints and branches. So it makes it much more interactive. And on top of that, if you wanted to make changes right there in the meeting, you can, because it's right within Crio. Just a really great way to facilitate the design making process. So what I'm going to do now is get away from the PowerPoint slides because they're not all that exciting. And let's jump into something a bit more exciting, which is the actual demonstration where I can show you how all of this actually works. So what I have right here is just a simple assembly that I want to show you how we can use the design exploration extension to create new designs on a current model. So as you can see here, we have this bronze shaver. It's made up of many different components, and it's relatively complex, right? It's got some merit to it. But let's say I get a call down from other engineers or heck marketing where they're saying, you know, last year's model was pretty good, but we want to make some changes. Maybe we want to make something for a younger audience, or we just got some word from some testing that say that different colors reflect better with the consumers. I don't know. Just that's the idea, right? So instead of recreating an entire model, let's reuse this data while keeping the same data and then expanding on it in a way that enables us to come out with the next model, but keep the current one as well. So you'll notice what we did here is we, excuse me, created a design exploration session. And as soon as that was launched, aside our model tree, we also have a checkpoint tree. And it's grabbing all the information that we're doing within Crio. So you'll notice we have two checkpoints in there. The first one is the pre-modified checkpoint, which what that does is that it takes a checkpoint of whatever is currently residing in Windchill at that point, if you're using Windchill. The second one is the entry checkpoint. So if you pull in a model and let's say you make some changes to it and then you launch the session, that's what that checkpoint is going to reflect. But now what we're going to do is just make some changes, right? Just common Crio changes, like we'll change the color of the grip and maybe change the material to a chrome finish, you know, stuff that marketing was telling us that was important. So once we do that, instead of creating an entire new model, as you can see here, we just create a checkpoint and we give it a name, we give it some comments, and we give it a keyword. So this is really fleshing out all of the design information that you have with this model is being presented right here. So what this is essentially doing is providing you with some type of breadcrumb trail when you want to see how you got from point A to point B. So that's kind of the idea. So now that we have that blue chrome checkpoint put into place, let's make some other changes. Let's say, excuse me, let's say I want to change it to red, just as a design idea, right? We can do the same thing. Give it a name, give it a checkpoint, change some keywords, put those things in there so we can track them. Now what I'm showing you is pretty simple Crio features, but again, we can do anything that we want within Crio. So if that means we go down to the granular level and change a feature within a part that's within a subassembly of the entire top level assembly, we can certainly do that. And so again, making these changes are really simple. We simply just make the change, create the checkpoint, and then go from there. And the great thing about this, again, is if we want to toggle between any of these checkpoints, we can at any point without risking any of our data. Then at the end, what we can do is save this off as a .tmu file. And this .tmu file is a really lightweight representation of the changes within the model. So we're not saving this really heavy model. We're saving this .tmu file that accompanies the model. So anytime we want to whip up this design exploration session again, we can without risking any of the data. So that's basically the general idea of how this design exploration session works. If you have any further questions for me, of course, we can address those in the chat, but I'm going to hand this back over to you, Rob.
Good deal. Thanks, Jonathan. Get a quick glass of water. So what I'm going to do, we're gonna wrap up here. But what I wanted to show you was the Crio Essentials packages, because as I mentioned before, if you wanted to upgrade, if you're currently on Crio Essentials, you do have flexible modeling, which is a tremendous feature. If you want to upgrade, and this would be upgrading perpetually, you can upgrade to any of these other packages with Crio Essentials Plus, which gives you data management, product data management capabilities with PDM Essentials, which is a very basic version of Windchill, if you're familiar with Windchill. Crio Essentials Premium, which adds both piping and cabling and some additional static analysis simulation capabilities. And then there's Crio Essentials Team, which gives you the advanced assembly extension for concurrent engineering as well as top-down design. And here are these are the subscription prices. And what I would do is, if you're interested, I would basically give you the upgrade prices, which will only be good for a couple more weeks. If someone is interested in the looking for another. There was another document that I had pulled up. Here it is. Crio engineering packages. So if you wanted to upgrade to the Crio engineering packages, there's different ones, and these are the capabilities with interactive surface design, piping and cabling, simulation. As you can see, all these that are included in Crio Engineer 4 are actually included when you convert your license. So it would be probably a lot more cost effective to convert your license to convert your license from a perpetual to a subscription than upgrading to Crio Engineer 4. I would think it would be more capabilities there. So what we're going to do at this time is there's no questions in the queue, which I always take as we've been very thorough and very efficient. But if you do have any questions or you think of anything, please feel free to contact us at info@3hti.com. You can contact me directly, or really easy way to remember how to get in touch with us is you can just respond to the emails that were sent announcing this webinar, as well as when you registered. You got your reminder notices that the webinar was starting and the link to join. You can respond to any of those emails and they'll come directly to me. So I'd like to thank everybody for being on today. I want to wish everybody a happy holiday season and a Merry Christmas, and whatever holiday you're celebrating. I hope it's a good time well spent with your families. And Jonathan, I want to thank you for being on today and helping us out. And this is going to conclude our webinar. Have a great day, everybody.